Hello there, Star Wars fans. Today I want to begin covering the Thrawn trilogy, the canon Thrawn trilogy, by Timothy Zahn, starting with the first time the Empire found Thrawn. These books are entertaining, at least what I've read so far. Heir to the Empire, also very entertaining, but I like these ones as well, so we're going to be going over them. They are canon, they will tie into the Thrawn we do see on the screen, in Ahsoka, in Filoni's movie, in other shows, so hope you enjoy these videos that'll be coming out probably for the next at least month, if not more. So, enjoy. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And, of course, let me know what other lore you want to see. I want to do Vader comics, I want to do other comics. I just like doing lore videos a lot. The what-ifs are going to continue, but lore videos are fun too, so let's get into this. Stick around to the end. It's crazy how early the Empire knew that Thrawn was a danger, that he was extremely good at what he does. So, starting with Thrawn first being discovered by the Empire, and Thrawn actually putting up a fight, kind of single-handedly taking on the Empire. In approximately 15 BBY, before Battle of Yavin, Thrawn had a pretty significant encounter with the Galactic Empire. During his absence from his own camp, an Imperial Star Destroyer called Strikefast, which was under the command of Captain Voss Park, it arrived on the planet to search for smugglers. Imperial officers, including Colonel Mosh Barris, Cadet Eli Vanto, they inspected Thrawn's camp, inspected the markings on the crates, and they added it to the Imperial Unknown Alien Protocols. Now, these protocols are interesting on their own. They were used in the Galactic Republic era. Every time a new unknown alien was discovered, it was kind of registered and put into the system. Palpatine was actually trying to phase this out. He just didn't really care for it, didn't really care about aliens, but these protocols at the time were still in place, and they required the Empire to investigate potential encounters with unknown alien species. Now, while the Imperials conducted their search, Thrawn cleverly caused a V-Wing starfighter, which had been observing the planet, to crash using a carefully placed monofilament line. Thrawn removed the pilot's belongings and escaped before the Major arrived to investigate. Thrawn devised a plan to basically board Strikefast by using explosives attached to nocturnal creatures and luring them into the Imperial encampment with a scarecrow made from the pilot's flight suit that he filled with grass, leaves, fermented berries. The chaos from doing this caused the explosive creatures to search for Thrawn, search for this assailant that they didn't know was Thrawn at the time. And taking advantage of this situation, Thrawn would crash another V-Wing. He replaced his stolen communication device with the pilot, which allowed him to eavesdrop on all Imperial communications. And amidst all this chaos, Thrawn continued to launch attack after attack against the Imperial forces, all by himself. He specifically targeted Imperial Navy troopers, provoking deployment of troopers into the forest, and when stormtroopers were dispatched to search for him, Thrawn used more explosives to incapacitate one of them, studying the stormtrooper's armor. He loved to learn, he loved to really get to know his enemy, and he was doing that here. He would then assume the identity of the fallen stormtrooper by donning the clone trooper armor that he had obtained. The attacks continued to persist, and eventually the Empire couldn't find Thrawn, couldn't shut him down. So, basically they just took his hut, they took it aboard the Star Destroyer for further analysis, citing the UA Unknown Alien Protocols that allowed studies of these things. And now, Thrawn, sensing that it was time to return to his camp, he secretly eliminated another stormtrooper, rigged the armor of that stormtrooper with explosives. He placed the rigged armor near the transport, and he hid it inside a power generator casing from his camp. The casing, along with Thrawn's hut and crates, was then transported to the Strikefast. Throughout this time, Thrawn was still in disguise in the clone trooper armor that he had acquired. So, Thrawn not only continuously outsmarted the Empire and his troops, he went on to get himself captured after all this, wanting to learn more about the Empire. Now, I'm going to read you a passage from the book where Thrawn's first impressions are exactly what you'd expect. He caused explosion after explosion, taking out stormtroopers, and they just could not find him. They could not shut him down, and he got himself captured, just to learn about the Empire. So now we're going to go through the first impression of Thrawn as a prisoner from one of the cadets aboard the Star Destroyer. The prisoner, as Eli had already noted, was of human shape and dimensions, but there the resemblance to normal humans ended. His skin was blue, his eyes a glowing red, and his hair a shimmering blue-black. Eli stiffened. Back home on Lasatra, there were myths about beings like that, proud, deadly warriors that the stories had named Chiss. With an effort, he tore his eyes away from the face and his mind away from the old myths. The prisoner was dressed in what appeared to be skins and furs, apparently sewn together from the indigenous animals of the forest where he'd been living. Even marching in the center of a rectangle of armed stormtroopers, he had an air of almost regal confidence about him. Confidence. That was definitely part of the stories. The stormtroopers brought him to within a few meters of Parak and nudged him to a halt. "Welcome aboard the Veneta Star Destroyer Strikefast," the captain said. "Do you speak Basic?" For a moment, the alien seemed to be studying him. "Or would Sai-Bisti be better?" Eli added in that language. Barris threw a glare at him, and Eli winced. Again, stupid. He should have waited for orders. The prisoner, though, was also gazing at him, though his expression seemed more thoughtful than angry. The captain, for his part, only had eyes for the prisoner. "You asked him whether he spoke Sai-Bisti, as I assume?" "Yes, sir," Eli said. "My apologies, Captain. I just thought... The stories all say that the Chiss use Sai-Bisti in their..." "The what?" Parak asked. "The Chiss," Eli said, feeling his face warming. "They're well, they've always been thought of as a wild space myth." "Have they now?" Park said, eyeing the prisoner. "It would appear that they're a bit more substantial than that." "But," I interrupted, "you were saying?" "Just that in the stories, the Chiss use Sai-Bisti in their dealings with us." "As you also use that language with us," the prisoner said calmly in that language. Eli twitched. The prisoner had answered in Sai-Bisti, but he responded to a comment that Eli had made in Basic. "Do you understand Basic?" he asked in Sai-Bisti. "I understand some," the Chiss answered in the same language, "but I'm more comfortable with this one." Eli nodded. "He says he understands some Basic, but is more comfortable with Sai-Bisti." "I see," Park said. "Very well. I'm Captain Park, commander of this ship. What's your name?" Eli opened his mouth to translate. "Nope." Park stopped him with an upraised hand. "You can translate his answers, but I want to see how much Basic he understands. Your name, please." For a moment, the Chiss was silent, his gaze drifting around the hangar bay. Not like a primitive overwhelmed by the size and magnificence of the place, Eli thought, but like another military man sizing up his enemy's strengths and weaknesses. "Mithra Nurodo," he said, bringing his glowing eyes back to Park. "But I believe it would be easier for you to call me Thrawn." So that's the story of Thrawn first taking on the Empire, getting himself captured, and just showing he was not intimidated. In fact, showing that he was just confident and knew what he was doing. He had a plan here. So, in future videos, we'll go over exactly what Thrawn's dealings were, how he got himself into the Empire, and more from there. But I hope you enjoy. I want to know what you think of the Thrawn content, because it's going to be rolling. We're going to keep it going. It's not going to be, of course, not going to be the only thing. We'll have many, many, many other videos, Vader videos, fan fiction stuff, you name it. So that'll be fun. And yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.